I'm starting with the stab cut in the middle of the boss. I'm taking that little angle cut around. This is all waste wood, so don't worry about make this reasonably big. I would probably leave this rounding over towards the end because we're going to be coming into here. So from this we now outline the edge of the flower, so you're coming inside the line like so, very carefully along here and feathering out to nothing when you get to the middle. Keep it just inside the line, on the line, and keep this wall here as vertical as possible. And then the same over here, inside the line, and stopping at nothing. And then we put this line in here, inside the line, tilting over slightly so that the outside wall is vertical. Corners we want to. So that's the outline of the little flower, the leaf design, and this edge here we're not going to touch. This line, which comes from the corner to the middle, this line here and this one are the centres of the three leaves. So we'll put those in with the V tool first. So we're starting from the outside, a light cut, following the line symmetrically. Then as we come to here to the middle, and we probably need to just tap that in so we don't bump into the boss in the middle. Make this in the middle a bit deeper. So this is coming in deep here. So we need to control this end of that cut so it doesn't take the little boss off. So shallow here, deep there. Then right over this side, shallow, deep. And that there are the three leaves. So now we ought to think about where the actual petals come. They'll come something like this. I'm calling them petals, but something like that. And this one will be a sort of dividing point between the two leaves, like this here. So with our gouge like this, our fishtail gouge, we can make our first cut dividing this leaf. Cut to one side, other side, and I can use my corner here like so, or I swap to the fishtail gouge like that, a fishtail chisel like so. Not too deep. Push that corner in, and make sure that's nice and tidy. So that this big one here divides this one from there. Similarly, we want one that divides this part of the leaf from this part. So we go one here, which is the line following through there like that. I think optically that looks good. So we'll take same cut here, push that corner down, and then on this one, on this side, we'll see if we can pull it round a little bit. Take that off. Again, make sure that's nice and clean down the bottom before we leave. And then we'll do the same over this side. And watch, I can do it from the outside in, like this, as from the inside out. So let's take that off there. there's our two main leaves. So let's see about dividing them up. So we're going to put one here. I'll use a scale chisel for this one, slightly sloping it. One there. Little one just there, I think. So what I'm doing is I'm working my way along and making these little three-sided cuts that start shaping the outside of the leaf. Just making sure they're all clean as we go along. Then I'll do the same on this side, coming in like that, or like that coming outside. Now what's important about these cuts, they don't have to be symmetrical, they don't have to be all equal, but these corners here where the junctions come in, they want to be pointing towards the boss like this. They don't want to be pointing over there because we're going to put flutes in here. So we work our way around the leaf, putting in these different little corner cuts, these little triangles. Too deep, so that one's a little bit too deep. And then along this side, and so on. So when you've done this, what you can do is you can use this second cut like so, and just give the leaves a little bit of a little shape. Like for example, you can a little bit here, or a little bit there. This one wants to come around here. So instead of them being now totally symmetrical, you're giving the edges a little bit of a shape. When all the edges are complete, we can start putting the flutes in. Use the same tool, same gouge as you did for the centre boss, and essentially you just run a light cut and perhaps deepen it a little bit down that centre to the centre of the boss, and then another one here, and then another one there. And what we want to do is concentrate on the lines between each groove. So this little ridge, we want to aim that ridge as best we can towards the middle, so everything's radiating out. If you've got a big design, you might put in two little flutes like this, but again, always thinking about heading to the middle. Then you just work your way around until you've covered all these flutes. You're not going too deep, and be careful you don't bump into the boss in the middle. So give a little roll there, help with the fibres. So I'll work all my way along here. There are all the flutes in position. They're quite loose. Don't be too, too particular about them, but just as if they're brush strokes, putting the lines towards the middle. So there are a few little things we could do now to finish up, but essentially that's most of the work done. The first thing is to round over the little boss in the middle. So starting low, coming right around, you might have to take it in a couple of passes over, around, and then on this side over and round, then finish off these little bits in the corner, these flutes where they meet the boss. We want to make sure they're tidy. Now this should be round this way as much as it is this way. It's very common to find this little bit in the middle that you haven't been able to clean off. So just take your flat gouge and just sort of clean that over a little bit. Like so. And then make sure, check all this around here is good. So that's the first thing to do. Just check that middle boss. Another thing you can do is to take your fishtail chisel and push it in the corner here, like so, where the centre vein meets, and that gives you a little bit of extra shadow here. So just push that corner in there. And then lastly, it's a good idea, you can get a triangular file like this, a triangular punch rather. I've made this one from an old bolt, and you slide it on the outside wall and just tap it in a little bit like this. And what that does is it just adds a little bit of shadow, extra shadow in there, little accent. And you can even do it in here if you want, just a little bit of a pop just there. And with that, the carving is actually finished.